everybody is really vaccinated, wag na muna tayong I mean, you know, I know that you want to go out. I know that you are itching to travel. But please, may ibang panahon lang na magawa mo yan. Do it at some other time. Presently, ang gobyerno may nalaman as allowed travel leisure from NCR plus to areas under modified community quarantine. However, it has come to my attention that some travelers arriving in various parts of the country, most notably in Boracay, are presenting fake COVID-19 tests. Huwag ho ninyong gawin yan at makukumpuriswa lang kayo. Hindi lang man, pati yung gastos ninyo, kindly check at least twice over whether or not you have the genuine certificates. I am also directing the Department of Tourism, the Philippine National Police, and all local government to arrest those presenting fake tests and enforce strict compliance on protocols of local tourism. Do not be afraid to file sanctions.
The Newsday continues here on One News Now. I'm Charles Lejano. The World Health Organization welcomes the G7's pledge of 870 million COVID-19 vaccine doses for developing countries that are most affected by COVID-19. WHO Director General Tedros Ghebreyesus said in a conference that this is a big help in making the global vaccination drive more equitable. Meanwhile, WHO advisor Bruce Alward stressed that the G7 will prioritize countries that are most vulnerable.
We do not, at this point, have a firm breakdown on how the 870 million doses that will be donated will be divided across areas. Now, that said, the G7 have been extremely clear, and the Americans have been extremely clear that they want to prioritize those areas that are most vulnerable and that where these vaccines will have the greatest impact.
One of the WHO's priorities is providing doses for Africa, where some 10,000 people still die each day from COVID. Tedros said that while the G7's vaccination donation is already a big help, more supplies are still needed.
And I welcome the announcement that G7 countries will donate 870 million vaccine doses, primarily through COVAX. This is a big help, but we need more, and we need them faster.
After earlier declining Isambayan's nomination, human rights lawyer Chel Diokno says he's now open to running in the 2022 elections. On 1PH's Sa Totoo Lang, Diokno noted that although he never had ambitions of being a real politician, he will do so if needed to serve the country. He revealed that he is open to running for president or vice president in the 2022 polls, but said that he may also vie for other positions. The lawyer also expressed his support for Vice President Leni Robredo, who he believes is the most qualified to run for president. Diokno calls on the opposition to be more united should the coalition's candidates face a possible Duterte tandem next year.
Siyempre, sila administrasyon, kahit sino ang nasa administrasyon na tatakbo, talagang lamang na lamang yon. Kaya nga, dapat nga magsama-sama ang nasa oposisyon dahil alam naman natin that this is a very daunting task.
Meanwhile, the Isambayan coalition clarifies that their initial list of possible nominees is still not final. Former Education Secretary and Isambayan convener Armin Luistro tells One News's agenda that they want the public to recommend more potential candidates to help them polish the list.
Our process will require, after publication of the nominees list, a wide consultation where people and members of Isambayan can actually bring out different data, facts about these people so that we can clean up the list. And dyan papasok yung responsibility ng ating mga kababayan na tulungan kami na linisin yung listahan.
We'll be back with more stories after a quick break. Keep it here on One News. TV Philippines on One News Now. I'm Charles Lejano. Apple is now working on new Apple Watch models and health features, spanning display and speed upgrades, including a potential blood sugar sensor. Bloomberg's Mark Gurman tells us more in this edition of Bloomberg Tech Power Up.
I'm Mark Gurman with Bloomberg Technology, and on this week's episode of Power Up, I'll be taking a look at what to expect from the Apple Watch this year, next year, and in the years to come. For this year, for what's likely to be called the Apple Watch Series 7, Apple's planning a substantial update with an updated display, a faster processor, and new wireless technology. For the new wireless tech, Apple's testing an upgraded version of its ultra-wideband tech using the AirTags item finder. It's also planning a faster processor and an updated display. For that new screen, Apple is testing a new lamination technique that will bring the display closer to the cover glass to have an overall nicer experience. The company is also testing narrower borders to make the overall form factor look a bit smaller and make the display appear bigger. For next year, for what's likely to be called the Series 8, Apple is testing a more iterative update to that flagship watch, in addition to a refresh to the Apple Watch SE. That's the lower cost model launched last year. The company is also testing a new Explorer Edition or Adventure Edition aimed at hikers and extreme sports athletes. Apple's also working on at least two major new health sensors for future versions of the Apple Watch. The first is a body temperature sensor to get your temperature, which would have been handy over the pandemic, now from your wrist. The company originally aimed to include that in this year's Apple Watch model, but now it's likely to arrive next year with the Series 8. The company is also working on a blood sugar or glucose sensor to make the lives of diabetics easier. Currently, you have to prick your finger to get blood, but Apple's goal is continuous, non-invasive blood sugar monitoring through your skin via the Apple Watch. That sensor is likely many years away. I'm Mark Gurman. This is Power Up.
Final 12 for the first match in the FIBA Asia Cup qualifiers is set to be announced later today. But before all of that, Lino Lavario gives us a glimpse of how the Gilas Pilipinas is preparing for their upcoming games.
The third window of the FIBA Asia Cup qualifiers in Clark, Pampanga kicks off tomorrow. But before that, the Gilas Pilipinas men's team enjoyed some light moments at the team photo shoot.
So nasa photo shoot tayo ngayon ng Team Philippines. So got our guys here. Say hi. Hello. Hey, hi. Show some energy. Come on, guys. Come on. New shade, guys. New shade for the photo shoot.
Hi, FIBA boys. So boy Angelo Kwame and my boys here. Yeah, we're representing the Philippines. So let's get it.
Naturalized player Angelo Kwame sure is raring to make his Gilas Pilipinas debut, most especially against South Korea. The 6'10" center has heard about the storied rivalry between Filipinos and South Koreans, including the emotional victory of Gilas Pilipinas in the 2013 FIBA Asia Championship at MOA Arena that clinched them a ticket to the 2014 FIBA World Cup. And he can't wait to have a taste of the battle cry Puso for himself.
Is, give it all. Give it all. Especially when I see the posts on social media and the way out, the Puso is representing the country here. I really want to be part of it.
Kai Soto, meanwhile, is excited about his Gilas men's team debut and building a twin tower combo with Ange and manning the paint with the other bigs.
There's also a lot of really good top players here in the team. AJ Edu, which is not yet here, is also very excited to play with again. So it's just a lot of really good young talent in this team.
But they will certainly have their hands full against former PBA imports, Ricardo Ratliff reinforcing South Korea and Lester Prosper for Indonesia. Similarly, the South Koreans are on the lookout for Ange and Kai too.
Maybe 2018, so he's gotten a lot better than that. So I'm looking forward to playing against him again. Two up-and-coming teams, two young teams, so I'm just looking forward to being a part of it.
Philippines always been a good team. Looking forward to play against them, especially Kai Soto. He's also a star.
It's not yet clear whether Kai will be lined up in any of the 3 games in the FIBA Asia Cup qualifiers, as his match fitness is being evaluated. But the 7-3 sensation is confident he'll be quick to pick up Coach Tab Baldwin's system.
Fast learner, very fast adjust. So it's been easier because Coach Sai by my side during those practices, helping me and telling me what I should do and what I should not do.
Good thing though, Baldwin has an ample selection of bigs. It's the guard rotation that has taken a hit following the injuries of Matt Nieto, Dave Ildefonso, and Ray Suerte, who did not join the team anymore in Clark. For Phil Aussie combo guard Jordan Heading, they no longer need to be reminded to step up to fill the void. And with this international experience playing in the US, Australia, ABL, and international stints with Batangilas, the 25-year-old would inject leadership in the young squad.
I think it's just in terms of my experience with the game and having played overseas in the States and in Australia, as well as internationally with the Philippines. It's just sort of trying to bring my experiences together and help these young guys and to help them keep their heads in I guess you could say stressful situations. And yeah, just really trying to bring a cohesive attitude and a positive attitude throughout the whole game and all our trainings.
Isaac Go was named team captain for the 3rd window, replacing Ray Suerte, who's nursing a sprained ankle. The final 12 for tomorrow's game will be named today. For News 5, Lynn Olivario, We Are One News.
K-drama icon Park Seo-joon is expected to join the Marvel Cinematic Universe after being cast in the upcoming Captain Marvel sequel. Star News Korea reports that the South Korean actor has been cast for an unknown role for Marvel Studios' The Marvels. Seo-joon is reportedly set to leave for the United States in the second half of the year to begin filming with Captain Marvel herself, Brie Larson. The Marvels is set to be one of the biggest MCU projects on schedule and is expected to be released on November 11 of 2022. And those are the top stories at this hour. Join us again later at 2 p.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Just register for a free account now at www.signalplay.com so you can stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Charles Lejano. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.